How close are we, Darren?
Darren, can you hear me?
Live.
Are we live? Is Sebastian on?
We're live.
Is Sebastian on with us? Or
No,
are
we just
us?
figure, there's a man who needs no introduction, so we're just going to cut right into it here today.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
No introduction. There, now.
Hello.
Welcome everybody to Toque Talk. Our guest today, Sebastian Bach.
You guys
And-
just 20 minutes of amazing.
Yeah, missed it. It's been insane. We should have broadcast the whole thing in the green room before the show started.
Well, I don't do this too much. In fact, this is exactly the third Zoom call I've done. Because
Oh, wow. Really?
I don't do this too much. But
We're on.
But I am very honored for once in my life to be considered a Canadian. So
Yes.
right on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It looks like you're living in the back room of a record store, which I appreciate. I really appreciate that you collect analog and hard copy rock and roll music behind
I'm
you.
broadcasting from a head shop in 1977.
Tracks behind you.
It's a time.
I got lots of Canadian records, man.
Do you? Lay it on us. I'd love to see it.
Well, I have fucking thousands.
I could see that. Yeah.
Why don't we talk and then I'll start walking around?
Yeah.
It took me 1,000 years to figure all this shit out. So like.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first we just want to say thanks for coming on, and obviously, it's been a tough time for everybody, so it's good to hear from different people. What have you been up to in the land of quarantine?
Well, I do want to repeat the one story that I already just
Of course,
told.
yeah.
Like,
Please.
gave myself a heart attack with coffee. But I just want to say, as we all are, we're all out of work because music doesn't exist anymore. But it's the hardest thing. One of the hardest things in rock is to come out of the band and be a solo artist. And I have been trying to make that work since 1996.
Yeah.
So that's like 42 years ago. And I finally got to the point where this tour right here was all theaters, which meant a bathroom for me, my band, and my crew, instead of pulling up to a club.
Yeah.
And I've been holding this since Albuquerque. We were so excited to get to that level. But now it's all postponed, and the gigs are still on, but it's unbelievable having no end in sight. Except for November 3rd, hopefully. That's the
There
only
you go.
possibility.
Yeah. Well,
a year
kudos,
ago,
that's quite an achievement, though. Like you say, like playing theaters as yourself. That's fucking awesome. That's great.
Just like I saw you, Todd, damn it, Kearns.
That's right.
I love your name, by the way. Damn it, my kind of name. I like that.
I knew you'd like it.
But
Well, Todd damn it rhymes with God damn it. That's why. There you go.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I saw you with Slash and Miles Kennedy in Milwaukee
That's right.
this summer, and it was exactly that kind of venue. That's like it's a better presentation for the band. People want to come to a big rock show, and you're 6'4", and the fucking ceiling is 5'11".
Yeah, I know.
Like, what are you supposed to fucking do? Like, work the space, man.
I was at your show,
What?
Sebastian. I was at your show at the Whiskey. You're talking about small stage. You're whipping that mic around. I was like,
Oh.
by the way, my friend, I have a couple buddies that play in your band. The bass player, Kevin Chown.
Yes.
Yeah. And Bobby's an old buddy of mine. And also, Jeff Coleman used to play with you, guitar player. Yeah. But I caught your show at the Whiskey. It was awesome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But not to get technical here, but when I went and saw Slash's band with Todd Dammit Kearns,
And Brent Fitz.
when I looked at your guys' stage, I immediately was struck by two things. Number one, you had the oh God, it's been so long, I can't even remember what they're called. There's a name for them. The plastic baffles on the drum cymbals.
Yeah.
Plexiglass.
Sneeze guard. Yeah,
What is it
plexiglass.
called?
Well, we'll just call it
No, there's a
symbol.
name for this company, but it's not coming to me.
Yeah.
Because I have been on
Doesn't
tour since 1960. But anyways, I go, fuck, man, those look so cool because it wasn't enclosing the whole drum kit.
Right.
It was specifically on the shit that I fucking hate.
Yeah.
The cymbals and the snare, when it
I know.
comes through my lead vocal mic,
Yeah.
what can you do? And when you're on a smaller stage and you're standing that close to the drum set,
Yeah.
you absolutely have to, you'll read comments, oh, those things are stupid. I go, you don't fucking sing for a living. Shut the fuck up, they're stupid. Was Barbara Streisand fucking stupid? No.
Let's take a poll.
So I immediately contacted, I think you, Todd.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
you
said,
did.
what? So I got those immediately, and they totally improved my pitch and my performance. And another thing I noticed too was your singer Miles Kennedy reminded me so much of Robin Zander from Cheap Trick, because the thing about Robin Zander, because I'm in a couple different corporate bands with him, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
get to sing with him,
That's so cool. Yeah.
which blows my mind.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
But the thing I learned from Robin Zander, and I noticed in Miles Kennedy that I always have to remind myself of, is that Robin Zander comes on the stage with zero aggression. None. Nothing.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
in Skid Row, every fucking show, we would psych ourselves into this thing. Let's kick their fucking ass, man! Like fucking Planet of the Apes or something. Right out there! Ah!
Yeah.
Like, for real.
So you blow your voice out in 3 songs, yeah.
Well, I mean, just going absolutely bonkers.
Yeah,
ape
yeah.
shit, nuts.
So speaking of this,
And I get on the stage with Robin Zander. He's like in a suit and a tie,
Yeah.
not sweating or anything. He's like not even jumping around. Fucking just looks like amazing. Fucking the nicest guy. I go, he's not trying to kick anybody's ass. He's that's the last thing he said. I go, Sebastian, there's like a whole other fucking
He's
way
just-
that you can do this
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to make
He's
it
just
hard
singing.
explode, fucking.
No, yeah. That's too dangerous.
no, I was just going to say I was going to touch on that intro.
I just want to say, Miles Kennedy, Miles had the same
Yeah.
intent, which
Yeah.
is to go out there and sing the best he can, and nothing
Yeah.
else matters. Not moving around, not fucking raps, not anything. Just
No.
like really doing it. And I can do that, but it's hard not to move around on the stage for me. Like, I want to jump and move and stuff, but I don't do that while I'm recording an album, right? Like,
Right.
No, of course. Yeah. Well, you've been doing it that way for so long, it just becomes muscle memory. You go on stage and it's like you're like flying out of a cannon. I know. It's what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Can't
but then
Jeff.
you watch a
Can't
guy like Miles or Rob, and you go, dude, you can just actually chill out a little bit and fucking do it like that.
Dial it back.
So,
Dial it.
like singing ballads like 18 in Life, I Remember You. The last thing you want to be doing singing those songs is doing a fucking jump kick off the drum rocker. Like, it doesn't
David
work.
Lee Roth.
No, but when I was a kid, my whole intent as a frontman when I was a kid, I go, I want to combine Rob Halford with David Lee Roth. As I get older, I learned why Rob Halford doesn't move like David Lee Roth. And why David Lee Roth doesn't sing like Rob Halford. Like,
It's pretty
That's
hard to do
important.
both.
combo.
That's important.
That is
That's
hilarious. I was just going to touch back
for it,
on
Jim.
when you talk about the aggression in the intro. I remember being at some of those shows, and you guys had that wall of pyro when "Slave to the Grind" would kick in, and I remember being there, and it would like literally melt your face coming out like that. Any close calls on that?
Well, that was really fun and cool, and we really dug doing that until the tour was over. And then we learned what the word shortfall meant.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's a financial term.
Way to go! You guys kicked ass, man! You kicked everybody's ass! Unfortunately, there's been a shortfall. What the fuck is a shortfall? What is that? Manager's like shooting a Nerf basketball in the back of the fucking door. Well, a shortfall means all those pyro bombs and shit. You guys wanted to kick everybody's ass? I go, yeah. $3,000 a pop.
Damn.
So, we're Skid Row. He goes, well, $3,000 a pop. All those pops comes out to
Yeah.
you owe us money for this
Oh,
tour.
yeah.
But, that's rock and roll.
Worth every penny.
But
Worth every penny.
we had no idea what the word shortfall meant, even. I
course.
never heard that word. It's not a good word. It's not a
Oh,
good
yeah, yes. I don't like short or fall. I don't like those
No.
together. No. Yeah.
Especially after all the gigs are pretty much sold out. Like,
Yeah. That doesn't make much sense. Yeah.
how does that work?
That doesn't work.
But I'm glad you enjoyed the pyro.
Yeah, the pyro was important. So how does that work? So the fascinating thing about Sebastian Bach is that a lot of people forget that you're a Canadian. And that's one of the reasons that we had to kind of...
But were you born in the States, Spaz, and grew up in Canada, or what's the actual, where were you born?
No, I was born in Freeport, Bahamas.
Right.
My dad taught art at Mary Star of the Sea School in Freeport, and my mom was down there with her sister. I don't know what the hell everybody was doing down there in the late 60s, but my dad taught art at this school, and he was looking for a better paying job. They told me that in the early 70s in Freeport, there was a lot of political unrest on the island, and we kind of had to get the heck out of there or something. I don't know. I was 4.
Yeah.
But so my mom's dad worked at the Windsor Star for 40 years. He was like the associate editor, William Hunter. At the
Wow.
Windsor Star. So my grandpa was sending the Windsor Star to us in Freeport.
Oh,
And
cool.
my dad was looking at the classified ads, and there was an ad for a art teaching job in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, at Kenner Collegiate. So my dad applied for the job and got the job.
Wow.
So we moved in 1972, and I was 4 years old.
That must have been a culture shock because that's like the Bahamas to a Canadian winter must have just been a kick in the dick.
Well, at the age of 4, it wasn't so bad.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, I suppose you would.
Oh man in tunnels, right?
But
Yeah.
I always ask my mom and dad, I go, why didn't you move from Peterborough to the Bahamas?
yeah. That would make more sense.
Seems
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the logical way.
So what was it like? What is it like? Because we're all prairie guys, which is a whole other Canadian experience. So
Yeah.
I always equate it to, because when you live on the prairies, it's Toronto, that whole area is like Rush and Triumph, all the massive acts that came out of there. But I always laugh at like Mike Myers has that whole sort of like that Wayne's World character is based on like Sarnia and like that Southern Ontario Mississauga Mall guy. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Well,
I
I
assume
think-
that metal experience is such a universal thing, whether it's Cleveland or Peterborough, Ontario. I assume you guys just sat around in parking lots listening to like Van Halen like everybody else.
Absolutely, we did. I think when you're talking about Mike Myers, he talks about his favorite band in Toronto at that time was Gatto.
Yeah, of course.
And,
Yeah.
That's funny.
best seat in the house. Hang on. So brings me to my first record here. This is I found this in a record store here in LA. This is the first Flood record.
Oh,
Yeah.
Greg Donovich's first
Yeah.
band.
You found that in LA?
Compiling, but here, hey, Greg Donovich. Hey, Greg. This is the USA Warner Brothers promo copy.
Wow. Dude, that's...
Promo. Promo. Believe it or not, I have 2 of these.
What? Where did you find that? Where did you find that?
I think the Record Parlor in Hollywood, have you guys ever been there? It's like up the block from Amoeba Records, and they have killer albums. There's so many vinyl record stores in Southern California. There's some great ones in Western Canada.
Yeah.
Record Town in Calgary
Sure.
is incredible.
Yeah.
That's a great store. And there's a bunch of other really cool record stores in Canada.
So, but you were in Kid Wicket by like 7 or 8 years old or something like that. So, how you got into playing in bands pretty young, right? Like,
well, the reason for that is that I was the lead soprano in my church choir when I was like 8 years old at All Saints Anglican Church
there you go.
in Peterborough, and I joined the choir because they paid a stipend each month.
Oh, wow.
Like $2.75 or in a little envelope, and that blew my mind.
That's Godovitz Records money right there. You can go buy some Godovitz records.
I was 8 years old on my bike, and my buddy comes up, he goes, hey, Sebastian, you want to join the choir? I go, no. He goes, wait. If you get in, you get $2.75 a month, and if you get in, I get $1. I go, and I turn and I go, somebody's gonna pay me to sing? I go, fuck it, let's go. Where is this choir? Let's go.
What were you singing at that point in your life?
Where's the fucking choir?
Like, what were you into at that point in your life? Well, like, what were you singing?
Singing choirs.
Outside of the choir stuff.
That exact day, the choir master just took me up the piano, and
Sure, yeah.
said, how high can you go? And I could go pretty high, but my mom and my Aunt Leslie raised me on Elvis Presley,
Same.
as a little kid. And I loved the Osmonds, and I would get on a table in the kitchen and pretend I was Donny Osmond singing Puppy Love, and my mom would get her friends over and say, do it again.
Can we hear some of that now?
Yeah.
Can you sing Puppy Love for us now?
They call
it Puppy Love.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Dude, I can't.
I had that 45.
Everybody send
too.
275 care of Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
So
I would like one of you internet assholes out there to check the key on that mother trucker, and I'm 52, so fuck you.
Yeah. Amazing.
I always laugh at that because the guys, you'll do a show, Kings of Chaos or one of those kind of things, and they all have to bring multiple guitars because Sebastian sings the songs in the original key. Like he sings, if this is a half step down, play it a half step down. If this is in 440, we play that in 440. So the guys are constantly, and I'm like, wow, you got like this, like, I guess perfect pitch to something.
No, I don't. I definitely don't have perfect pitch. Well, I don't even know what that term really means. Like, if I can hear myself,
It doesn't mean shortfall. It doesn't mean
if I can
shortfall.
hear myself, I do have perfect pitch.
There
If
you
I
go.
can't
There you go.
hear myself, I sing in the key of Z or something like that. But I think that's any singer. But
That's
what
true.
were we talking about? Oh my God.
The keys of the songs.
Everything I do from my management, every single musical project, I have to say, listen, I have to do this in the original key. I can't. And they all go, we don't do that, or the band doesn't do that, I go, how do I rehearse for this?
Yeah.
What do I slow down my turntable? Like, how is it possible? Because the way I do it is I sing the motherfucker for as long as it takes. That's all I can do it. Then I do it again and 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 again. And that's the only way I know how to do it. So
well, it's a
how
muscle
do you do that if it's in the key of corn? How do you do that?
The key of corn. Which is a very specific key, I know. Yeah.
I love corn.
We all
Baz, somebody's asking online here, and if my memory serves me correctly, it's got to be at least 3. But somebody says, how many octaves?
I don't even know. I can specifically sing like maybe 95% as high as Rob Halford, but he does have notes that I don't have. That motherfucker is like, nobody can scream like
well, I don't know.
that.
Don't sell yourself
the
short.
best.
Like when you listen to stuff like Wasted Time, Quicksand Jesus, I mean, there's some pretty intense notes in those songs.
Well, I appreciate that. I think Corey and Todd Dammit Kearns will understand what I'm saying here. When if you listen to the way I sing in a full voice, and Halford and Ian Gillan have this freak falsetto thing that comes from fucking who knows where. And I used to have that when I was like in Kid Wicked, that crazy thing. But I couldn't sing for shit after I blew my fucking pipes out. Like,
Right.
but I used to have that. But then when I learned how to sing like with a vocal coach, full voice, my full voice got almost up to that height of the falsetto freak scream, but I lost that falsetto.
When did the vocal coach become part of your
Well,
assault?
I always went to a vocal coach since I left my house. My dad paid for vocal lessons when I was a kid.
Okay.
And he said he would keep paying for them until I missed one. He goes, if you fucking miss one, and I never ever missed one.
That's awesome.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. It's your passion. It's what you want to do. Absolutely, yeah.
But when I got in Skid Row, John Bon Jovi said to me, you have to find your own vocal style right now.
Wow.
And I go, what do you mean? Because sometimes you sound like Dio. Sometimes you sound like Vince Neil. Sometimes you sound a little like Halford. You have to fucking sound like Sebastian right now. Now.
That's good advice.
Wow.
I go, what the fuck?
That's great advice.
I go,
Well, you certainly found
you gotta
it.
go to this guy, Don Lawrence, in Manhattan, who still teaches voice, and he's John's teacher, and Don Lawrence's whole family is a family of vocal coaches who started in the 20s in Manhattan in Times Square and taught all the Broadway singers of the day, like the Barrymores, Lionel Barrymore.
Sure, yeah.
And then his kid teaches voice, and his kid, like the whole family teaches voice.
Wow. A family business.
So I went there every day, and he also lets you record the lessons. So I have all these tapes of me doing this. Like, when Axl Rose came out of his like 13-year thing, he goes, Sebastian, I want to get my pipes going again. And I immediately gave him my warm-up with Don on a CD, and then he requested to see Don, and Don and Axl worked together and built up that thing. But they all tell me that Axl still warms up to me singing my warm-up.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Kind of cool.
That's very cool. Wow.
I must be doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. Clearly. It's worked for you. So, you know what? I know we're jumping all over the place because I always try to do it chronologically, but I'm so fascinated with the crossover between, you know, the arena rock thing, and then all of a sudden you're standing there dressed as Jesus Christ. because Corey and I are both obsessed with Jesus Christ Superstar. So whenever we've talked about this before, you and I, because the fact that you actually stood on, look at that, dude.
Yeah.
You got
I
the
want to hear all about this. I want to hear all about this.
And not only did you do Jesus, but you did it with Carl Anderson. So that's like mind blowing to me. Because I saw Carl and Ted.
One second.
Carl and Ted.
Hang on 1 second.
Go for it. Oh, he's gonna. It's gonna be a costume change,
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
I'm not sure. You never know.
While we
Never
wait
know.
for him, Todd, you do Heaven on Their Mind. My mind is
Yeah.
clearer now.
Hey,
No, we should be doing like.
Last.
That's
All
a nice
too
program
well.
you got, man.
Wow.
Look at
Check that
that.
out.
Whoa,
Oh my God, that's huge.
Actually, I have that one too.
That's
I don't know if you can-
insane.
I
Yeah.
don't know if
Really?
you can see that.
That's
That one looks a
amazing,
little beat
dude.
up. Is
Wow.
that part
Okay.
of the?
A display at the
This
theater?
is a display for Buffalo.
Oh wow,
Like
Those-
Whoa, that's
That's
cool.
amazing.
that's rad. Hey, who played Pilot in your version, Sebastian? Did it change if he does?
this thing is huge.
It's bigger than you.
Jeez.
He's like
6'4".
Well, you know, I have to say about Jesus Christ Superstar is that why does Judas get all the cool songs?
He does get the cool song. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we always say
My
that.
mind is clear and
And
now.
now, yeah.
At last, all too well, I can see what we all soon will be. Jesus, you started to
Believe the
These
things they
they
said of you.
These talk of to believe. This talk of God is true. I think I gotta stand up for that note.
You should
You
just
hear
do a
Todd
one-
saying that.
you should just do a
Todd's
one
version is
man.
amazing.
Just do a one-man version of Jesus Christ Superstar. I think it'd be huge. Sebastian Bach's Jesus Christ Superstar.
Well, someone
Bounce
better
around.
save this fucking planet, man. It's fucking in bad need of it.
And then you could be like, try not to get worried, try not to.
Actually,
You got to do all
I
that.
should Todd and Corey. I should send you. I actually have a full show recorded, 2002, and I have it all.
Are you sticking it to the man with that bootleg?
Yeah,
I like
no.
it. Really?
Well,
I'd love to.
I can't find anything close to it in terms of audio quality anywhere online. So it.
Yeah, please do. Love to hear that because I'm so fascinated by it because I not only am I fascinated by I love the musical, but then I'm imagining like you said coming out on stage, we're gonna fucking kill him before you go on to sing Jesus. We're gonna kill him. You're yelling at Carl Anderson and he's like, dude.
Well, there's a lot of stories about that.
Yeah, well, if you ever had the opportunity to see him do the show, he did that at the end. He came out and kicked everybody's ass at the end of the show.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, in the market. In the my temple.
Yeah.
The temple should be a house of prayer.
See, I was gonna queue up some spots of this, but I thought the Facebook police would shut us down. But
Don't
I
you
guess it's not
mind
gonna matter
about
now.
the future?
I love
Don't you
it.
try to think ahead. Say tomorrow for tomorrow. Think about today instead.
You know what's happening? What's the buzz? So you know what? Everybody's gonna send in $2.75 to Sebastian Bach again. You're getting a lot of free songs
exactly.
today.
Well, you know, I'm drinking
And $1 to
coffee
that kid
and
that
I'm bored.
got you to join the choir.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
So,
you
but
know,
what was the
Carl-
mentality like?
Huh?
The difference between doing, going out there and just pummeling a metal rock show, and then like, okay, did you have to change your vibe entirely to go out and do that?
Well, I wrote about this in my book. The hardest thing for me when I first started doing theater was to be still on the
right.
stage, like completely still. I couldn't do it. I was like fidgeting and there's a scene in Jekyll and Hyde, which was my first Broadway show, where Dr. Jekyll pleads his case to the Board of Governors, which is he needs to experiment on his dad because his dad is dying, and he has to invent a potion to save his dad. And at the time, my dad was dying of leukemia.
Oh.
And would come and sit in the fucking front row dying.
Oh, dude. Oh,
and
my
I'm
God.
on stage trying to make a potion to save him, and he's fucking sitting right there. Like, I mean,
Wow.
that's crazy. And now I can't
That's so
remember.
good.
Oh yeah, okay. So being still. So there is a scene that's like 2 minutes, and it's a whole long speech that Dr. Jekyll makes. Within each of us, there are two separate natures, two distinct qualities, one good, one evil. It is the curse of all mankind that these two extremes should be constantly at war.
Wow.
See, do virtual Broadway here.
I was
It's like 2 minutes of that, right? But I was directed that I had to have my hands on this podium addressing the whole cast, and I was not allowed to move my hands. And I literally couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't, my hands were trembling, like I was, the whole crowd, like $200 a ticket. I'm the first metal guy ever to be on Broadway. Like, I know that might make people mad, but it's fucking true.
It's true. It's absolutely true, yeah.
And so, but my arms had a mind of their own, and I couldn't control my energy from going on stage from years and years of banging my head and fucking all this.
Yeah.
So the director goes, Sebastian, quit moving your fucking hands. I'm just at the rehearsal. And I go, oh, this was an old guy that you can Google, Sir Robin Phillips. He has the Order of Canada for directing in Stratford upon Avon. He also played Robin Hood in the movie Robin Hood in the 50s when he was a kid. That's him.
Wow.
And he's totally known in Canada, Robin Phillips, and he goes, quit moving your fucking hands, and he walks up on the fucking stage. He goes, give me your fucking hand. I go, what? And the whole cast is looking at me going, and I'm sweating, I'm freaking out. He goes, give me your fucking hand. And he takes my hand, and he goes like this, oh, Bruce. And he takes my hand, and he goes, you fucking feel these? I go, yeah. He goes, these are my fucking balls. He goes, I want you to fucking think every fucking time you get on the fucking podium, I got my fucking balls in your fucking hand. And I go, and the whole cast goes, oh my God. And he goes and sits down. My hands never fucking move again.
Wow.
I was in shock, man. I knew how to sing, but I wasn't an actor or anything. Like, they had to beat the crap out of me.
Well, I'm fascinated by that because, we've talked to a few people over the years, just people who, like, fall ass backwards into acting. And it's one thing to be on stage, like you say, because you almost kind of feel like between songs and Jesus Christ Superstar or Jekyll and Hyde, you want to kind of go, how you doing tonight? And that doesn't happen in the theater at all. No. Hey, how was the drive to the theater tonight? Like, no, that's not how it works. No. So you got to, it's a totally different head. Yeah, make some noise.
Well, like in the first song of Jesus Christ Superstar, that's Heaven on Their Minds, which Judas sings. And Jesus' role during that whole intro of the song in the play is to stand on the top like this, motionless, for the whole song. And let me explain this to you. You get your body acclimated to hit the stage every night at 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Then comes the fucking matinee on Saturday, which is 5. Wow. Then you do another one at 9. Then Sunday at 1.
Oh, jeez. Man, oh man.
I didn't miss any of those shows, but I almost missed a couple of those Sunday ones because you're asleep, right? You know what I'm saying? And you got to wake up and do your vocal warm up. So if you're on at 1, you got to get up at like 10:30 or something just to get your shit together, get your voice going. you can't eat because you're not fucking hungry, right? I can't eat when I'm not hungry. I don't know about you. Like, I try, but I can't.
Right.
Luckily, I'm hungry quite a bit. But, so one of these times I go, I can't fucking do this, man. I can't do this. I can't do this. And then I thought about my understudy waiting there to get my fucking money, and it's my show, dude, okay? So you go sit down and get off my stage, because this is my show. That's, you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
I'm not going to sit in my bed in my hotel room and let somebody else do my fucking show. Like,
No.
That's not an option for me.
No.
No matter how shitty I feel.
So how many shows a week is that on its regular schedule?
That was 8 shows a week.
Is there any days off? What days off do you have?
Just Monday, but just let me finish this little story. So there's one where I can't do this. I said, fuck it. Get me a bunch of coffee and get me some bananas.
Okay.
And I drink as much coffee as I can and try to put some bananas in my mouth. When I get on the stage, people are like this. I can't believe this fucking guy is here right now. Like, I think it's a wild night the night before. You know what I'm saying? That happens on the road sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
So I walk on the stage to do the show. Everybody get out of my way. And then I'm standing doing this during Heaven on Their Minds for 4 minutes. My knees start buckling, dude. Like going, shaking. I go, don't fucking. I'm having like a blood sugar thing. And my knees are shaking. I'm going, that's a fucking song. So I can lose. And it keeps going and going and going. Oh my God. But I made it okay. I made it out okay. So what about that before?
Well, again, like when you're having a night like low blood sugar and you're playing with a rock band, and you can kind of like hide behind the volume of the guitars and the drums and the cymbals that you don't want to hear. But in that situation, dude, it's like, it's so naked and you can't phone in that show because it is a super challenging show for both the Jesus and the Judas. Actually, everybody in that show it's pretty challenging. So you're not just phoning it in. You got to go in there like, with your black belt ready. I'm ready to go here. Let's do this.
Your black belt and also your diaper. You gotta remember in Act 2, I'm going on stage in a fucking diaper. Like a swaddling clothes.
Yeah.
I remember one time I looked down, it's a packed house, and I'm not like Adonis, right? Like I have like a body like Joey Ramone, for fuck's sake. Like that's my body.
And mine too.
So I'm standing there on the side of the stage in swaddling clothes, no shirt, no shoes, nothing, just a diaper. And I looked out, I can't fucking believe I'm going on stage like this. And then I walk out there, and that's the scene where Pontius Pilate and the stormtroopers are all mad at them, and they're wearing these big jack boots, like Doc Martin fucking boots, and I'm in bare feet, and my toes are like Ronald McDonald, like my feet are like fucking, I can ski in these motherfuckers, they're so big. And so these guys are walking around, and then one of them, and I'm going like this, right? And one of them steps on my fucking toe as hard as he can.
Oh, no.
And I didn't have a mic on, but I went, fuck! I think that's the only time Jesus swore.
Oh, no.
When he hit my toe, dude, I'm
no.
sorry, I broke the fourth wall.
Yeah. That's to be understood. Good Lord. Oh, my God.
You should have said, Father!
Yeah.
Father!
That hurts.
Yeah.
But you talk about, what was it like with rock and roll coming into Broadway. Jekyll and Hyde was more lighthearted. That was the first one I did. And that was more of a fun play. Then I did Rocky Horror, and that was like a sex chick party. All the girls in Times Square would get completely loaded and come in there and just get crazy. I didn't know how crazy that was.
Yeah,
but then I did Jesus Christ Superstar, and I remember one time we played in San Diego, sold out 8 shows for the week, and one of the shows, I think it was a Saturday night show, there's a scene where Jesus is in his swaddling clothes, tied up for a whole song, and he's whipped for the whole song. So I'm on stage on my knees, naked pretty much, tied up, being fucking whipped, and I'm supposed to be like this, and all of the rocker chicks in the crowd are going, yeah, oh, yeah, and they're all fucking, they're acting like it's like a really cool, hot thing, and the directors on the side of the stage are going, oh, this bullshit. They're all mad. I go, you're not mad at the box office receipt, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fuck. But so there was some weird moments.
That's amazing, because you definitely predate Paul Stanley's Phantom of the Opera by like.
Paul did.
Phantom before you?
Family Opera in Toronto.
You're right. Yeah.
But I did Jekyll and Hyde in New York on Broadway.
That's so cool.
Which is so ironic because I'm from Toronto.
He's from New York.
Right.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Literally.
Except Toronto.
Hey, just before we leave the Jesus Christ Superstar thing, how was Carl Anderson to work with?
He was incredible, and he brought so much soul to the stage, and his voice was one of the greatest voices of all time. And I got to be very good friends with him, but if you read my book, you know that he got leukemia during the time that I was on the road with him, which was, my dad died of leukemia in August 2002, and I started in October 2002. So I had like a month to drink myself into a fucking complete stupor every day.
I can imagine.
Wow.
Then I was ready for Broadway.
That'll
Take a note, kids.
So Carl unfortunately died during the show at the same age and the same disease that my dad died from.
Wow.
So I'm 52 now, so if I ever reach the age of 58, we have to do another Toque talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be here every week.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be a host from now on, actually.
Yeah, I think
You can just all pack it and let him take over.
Yeah, you know what must be really fascinating, because I always wonder this for you, because you must have, like, obviously your day-to-day is, like, they know Sebastian Bach, the singer, but there have to be people who come up to you and go, like, Gilmore Girls. Like, it must be like a totally different kind of person must walk up to you and recognize you from a very, very popular show, a massive show. I mean,
I get noticed in different parts of town for different things. I go to a rock club, it's fucking Skid Row, you go wild, hey! And then if I go to the mall, it's, are you Gil from the Gilmore Girls? And if I go anywhere in Canada, it's the Trailer Park Boys that by far dominates. When I walk around in Canada, it's,
of course.
Hey, you like model fucking trains, man? Like,
the Swayze train. The Swayze train. Yeah.
I was going to ask you a bunch of questions about Trailer Park Boys, but maybe I won't.
Yeah,
you can ask me about Trailer Park Boys.
How was that experience?
Well, these guys are so talented. I don't think people realize it, because I shot a bunch of shows with them, and then they're like, Sebastian, come see us live come see our show.
Right.
And they're friends. I go, okay, but in the back of my mind, I go, what show what's your show? Like,
right.
What are you going to do on stage?
Yeah.
And also I thought, mistakenly, that Trailer Park Boys was mainly big in Canada. Wrong.
Yeah, I know. No.
So I went to a bunch of their shows here in California and every show I've ever gone to them is fucking packed with college students, not like just hilarious freaks, and it's jammed. And they get on the stage just with microphones for 2 hours and devastate the crowd with songs and skits and, you know, stuff that they do. But it's them. It's those three guys.
All in character? They're all in character the whole show? Like they're doing...
Yeah, but they also have other characters like the SwearNet characters and,
yeah, right.
You know, and Randy, that cheeseburger-eating bastard.
Does he come out? Does Randy come out?
Randy comes out, and Mr. Lakey used to come out. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Hey, Brent, is that you up there in that little circle?
Yeah, that's Brent Fitz.
Why does he get like a little emoji, but you guys get like screens?
He's been demoted. He was misbehaving.
Oh, okay.
Actually, you can drag his picture down, and then he can join us as well. If you drag his little,
cool.
just drag it.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, it's
I'm dragging you right now.
Oh, are you on a phone?
No, I'm on an iPad.
Yeah, it might work. It might work. It might not.
Might break the internet.
I can still see it.
Yeah, it's funny, but that always, I think that's really interesting because how did the Gilmore Girls even come up? I mean, you're like you said, I'm not an actor, and the next thing you know, it's kind of like, come down and read for this, or like, how does? I mean, I've read your book, so I know a lot of the answers to the questions I'm asking, but I'm so fascinated by these. I'm already fascinated by your entire musical career, but I'm always like, how did this happen? Like, where did you just? And then you're suddenly on a very popular television show, like, boom.
The Gilmore Girls happened 100% because of Broadway.
Okay.
The Gilmore Girls contacted Atlantic Records and said, we want a guy that's a rocker to play on our show this part. And Atlantic told Jekyll and Hyde to pick me, and Atlantic told Gilmore Girls to pick me. So they called me, and Amy Palladino and Dan Palladino just called me, and we just talked on the phone, and then I did 7 seasons.
That's amazing.
And is that what spawned the other? You did a couple of reality shows too, right? I can't remember what was the
Supergroup.
No, not that one. I was going to get to that one in a bit, but the one where you did like the Willie Nelson and you did the hell was it called? Sing Your Face Off. That's it. Yeah.
Right.
And then you can't forget Celebrity Rap Superstar.
Of course.
Or you can if you want. Celebrity Rap Superstar, also known as crap.
So there's no second season, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, I whenever I think of the show Supergroup, I think of the review and TV guide, which was very succinct and very to the point. The review said, Supergroup. Well, it's a group. I go, that one made me fucking laugh. I go,
that's fun.
There's a fucking review for you. Right there.
A whole season of just trying to come up with a band name. Yeah.
If we're talking about reviews, I'll just to go back. One of my favorite reviews I ever got was when Jesus Christ Superstar played in New Orleans at the Sanger Theater, which is a historic, incredible theater downtown. And the first line of the review in the newspaper said, just the simple fact alone that Sebastian Bach is playing Jesus Christ could be the first true sign of the oncoming apocalypse.
God.
I go, holy fuck.
Oh my God.
There's a keeper.
That should be on the wall. That one should be on the wall for sure.
The oncoming apocalypse, dude. Well, that's a powerful performance.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Speaking of which, in the feed here, Greg chimed in. He said, "Thanks for the shout out. He's on watching right now." So,
Greg Godovitz?
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
Wow, we got to get Greg Godovitz on here for sure.
Yeah.
Greg Godovitz. Oh.
Yeah. He's watching. He's watching right now. There you go.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's great. You know what we asked?
Promo, dude.
We ask this every time because we cover Canadian classic rock bands. What Canadian band would you like us to cover Sebastian Bach?
I will tell you, but I just want to show you this other cover here. Fuck, I got all these albums. Hang on.
I'm excited. Let's guess. Killer Dwarfs? No.
Keep guessing.
Canadian, we're talking?
Yes. I'm
Well,
sorry,
he might not already know the ones that you've done.
This is Greg.
What about April Wine?
This
What about
is
April
Greg
Wine?
Godovitz's record that he wrote a long time ago about the year 2020.
God,
Who cares?
who cares?
Who fucking cares is right.
Exactly.
By the way, Greg, this is a sealed, unopened copy that has never been disgraced by listening to it.
I don't know if that's disgraced. You're supposed to listen to it.
I do have another copy of that.
So Baz might not already know all the songs that you guys have done, so there's probably a disadvantage there because I'm sure some of those ones would probably come to the top of the list. So I guess
Yeah, we've covered like April Wine and Loverboy and Rush, and the list goes on. But is there any band that you think, especially growing up in like the Ontario area, I'm always like we haven't done a Triumph song yet. We haven't done Killer Dwarfs. We haven't done Killer Dwarfs.
Well, you know, I don't know if the same club bands. I don't think we're big on the West Coast as the East Coast.
Not necessarily, but there were definitely some spillovers. Who was big
Did
when
you guys get like from Montreal, Hell's Dagger?
No.
No.
You know what's a
Well, we
band
got
that
April Wine.
You know what's a band that we both love is Sons of Freedom from Vancouver. They were a great band.
Oh my gosh!
Remember that?
I remember that.
Gump was the album. Gump was a great album. We used to talk about that. Yeah,
Did you guys ever hear of a band called Rue Morgue?
yeah, I remember Rue Morgue. Is that
Rue
Montreal
Morgue.
as well? Is that Montreal as well?
That was Toronto. I'm talking about club bands, but
Yeah, of course.
okay,
yeah.
like I love Max Webster. I
Of
love
course.
Yeah.
Best ever. Best ever, Max
Happiness
Webster.
is beginning to rise on the streets
Yeah.
of paradise skies.
Yeah.
High class and borrowed shoes.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, we've had Kim on here before. Kim
Love
Mitchell.
that music.
Yeah,
What's
it's
a
the best.
Here Among the Cats?
Yeah.
What's that?
Among the cats.
Yes.
I know.
What else? Okay, I loved one of the first bands I saw as a kid was Rough Trade.
Yeah.
Oh, we love Rough Trade.
Carol Pope.
High School
Yeah.
Confidential.
Yeah, and I
was
saw them in
classic.
high school at PCBS.
Oh,
And
really?
it's a bad memory for me because I was like 12 or something, and my dad loved Rough Trade, and he like totally turned me on to them. I was just a kid. He used to play those records all the time. And then me and my friends got tickets to go see Rough Trade. And my dad, he goes, "Hey man, Sebastian, can I come?" And I go, "No." And he was so fucking bummed out. I go, "Dude, I don't want to go to a show like with my dad, man." Like,
Yeah, I know.
he goes, "Well, I understand, Sebastian." I feel like such an asshole thinking about that.
No, I don't.
Do you recall a band called Sheriff?
Yes.
Do you know
yes.
Freddie Kersey?
Baby.
There you go.
this whole interview is just going to be muted because of copyright claims. You know. No.
I think you sang it in the right key, too.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was the
That
right
wasn't
key.
the right key.
That's the right key.
Me and Gretchen Wilson have talked about covering that song.
Really?
And that was her idea. And I was like, how do you know Sheriff? They're from Canada. And, you know, that's an international hit. With the,
It is.
I think it's the longest note held at the end,
Guinness,
right?
Guinness World Records, yeah.
Really?
We had somebody on here the other day, and I said, you know, I don't know, because Don't Cry gave it a pretty good, shot for second place, and so somebody actually chimed in and timed it, and it was correct. Yeah, it's the longest note. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Is he actually holding that note, though, or is that like some delay and reverb and things like that happening in there?
Well, I think
I challenge.
The gauntlet has been dropped.
So wait, if I cover this song with Gretchen Wilson, and I hold the note for 1 millisecond more.
And
That's
you'll
yours.
have it. You get the
Dude.
belt.
World record.
You get the belt.
Babe, go get Greg's info.
Daz, we have to talk about Rush. You got to talk about Rush.
Okay.
Hey, what's the
Okay,
cover?
hang on.
What's
I
your?
want to show you
What's,
something.
oh, here we go. What's your Rush cover band called again that you play with them guys?
It's not as good a name as Toque.
But it's a good name. What is it again?
It's not a good name. It's called Hurry.
Hurry. That's what it's called.
That's,
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh,
That's
great. Come on.
It's a play on words.
It's really. I can't tell you that I think that's a good name.
But it's got the first album logo and stuff. It looks rad. I think it looks rad. Who all plays in that thing?
Well, Brent Woods put it together, and we did one gig with Steve Vai. Like
Wow.
that's pretty good.
Pretty cool.
Wow.
But music doesn't exist anymore, so we don't need to talk about that.
That's right.
Exactly. Thank God you
want to
asked.
talk about Rush?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're up. Of course.
Anybody, you guys got this? This is the Farewell to Kings Super Deluxe Edition.
No.
Yeah.
You get inside here, you get the left spoke from the tire from the tour bus on the 77. No.
I'm gonna say what?
You get a lot of shit in here. And the
Oh,
reason
wow.
I want to show this to you guys is that I am very much an analog man, like Joe Walsh says, and I like the sound of listening to vinyl. But one thing I like about the new technology are the 5.1 surround mixes,
Sure.
like on Blu-ray and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And this Farewell to Kings Super Deluxe package has a 5.1 mix done by Steve Wilson from Porcupine Tree.
Wow.
It's fucking mind-blowing. Steve
Really?
Wilson from Porcupine Tree. It's incredible. It's so good. I'm just saying, all you Rush fans, if you haven't heard this, treat yourself. You know,
I'd love to hear.
You need 5.1 speakers, though. I don't know what the .1 is. Is that the
Yeah.
subwoofer?
Yes.
Oh,
Exactly.
really? I've learned something today.
Yeah.
Subwoofer is .1.
I had to mix the Shania Vegas DVD in 5.1, so I had to learn all about all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what, you just put the vocal in the front and stereo, and then a sub?
I put my my home theater on 7.1. And
Yeah.
I figured that's like 2.1 more
do better.
channels.
Do better.
Do better, yeah.
I mean, if 5.1 is good, fucking 7.1. I mean,
You're winning all the way.
but I do like also the moving pictures. 5.1 mix is incredible to listen to. Little trivia for you. The guy that does most of Rush's 5.1 mixes, Corey, you might know him. His name is Richard Chicky, out of Toronto. And
Okay.
he's produced all these remasters for Rush and stuff. He was the guy that I put a band together with before Skid Row, that when I quit, James Labrie from Dream Theater joined and learned all the songs that we had written and done. And his name was Kevin at that time. But that's how Kevin Labrie came from, was it Sudbury or some town in northern Ontario?
I think that's
But so that's how he started. Now Rich Chicky, who was the guitar player and songwriter in that project, he does all the Rush 5.1 mixes, so that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Except for the Steve Wilson one.
Right, except for the Steve Wilson one, yeah. Yeah, Steve Wilson's kind of like the hot dog for that kind of stuff now. He's doing that a lot these days, yeah. That's great.
I'm also reading a new book on Rush by Martin Popoff called Anthem, which is Rush throughout the 70s. And not to say anything against Martin Popoff's books, but this one is my favorite one that he's done. And he's done like 1 billion books.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
this one is a really good compilation of interviews they did, like in the first 3-4 records. in the
Oh,
70s.
wow.
That if you're a Rush fanatic, it's incredible. Also, there's that book, Wandering the Face of the Earth. Have you checked that out? Which is
No, I haven't.
the Rush touring history, which
Oh,
details every single gig, who opened the show,
Wow.
what was the attendance, what was the gig like. And it's, in this time of pandemic, I need all the fucking books.
I know.
I
I
read.
know.
Well, I love reading. Like
Yeah.
I've always been like that. I totally takes my mind off the fact that music and school don't exist anymore, which kind of bums me out.
Have you read the Ted Templeman? I just talked to Greg Renoff, the guy who wrote the Ted Templeman biography.
No,
It's-
that's next on my list.
It's great. I really dig it, dude. It's like really fun to get into, like, because he was involved with Dave and Van Hagar after. It's pretty fascinating. It's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
But I digress. That's not Canada talk. So it must be interesting for you because by the time you were playing in, like, say, was it Madam X that dragged you out of Canada or what?
Yes.
How old were you? Like 19?
No, I was 17.
Holy
Wow.
cow. That's crazy. So you were already like what was did you have some sort of, I'm always fascinated by the idea. How were you living in the United States? Was it sort of like getting a visa? Was it sort of like, yeah.
You guys will fucking love this.
I can't
You
wait.
will love this story. This is mind blowing, but this is all true. So in Canada, in Peterborough, when I was like 15 or 14 maybe, I did a gig called the Hastings Howl, which Hastings, Ontario, out near Keene. It was my band was called Bloody Mary.
Sure.
Our logo was an axe, and this part was bloody, and the staff was Mary.
Perfect.
Pretty fucking. I was
Yeah,
14.
yeah.
14.
Awesome. That's
so
great.
I had to get a musicians union card. Like everybody that was throwing this, you guys in the union?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like this is like
I'm
1983 or I think 83
Okay.
or maybe 82. One of those years.
Okay.
So I was 14 or something. So I had to get a union card, and you guys know this. When you get a union card in Canada, it says American Federation of Musicians.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah.
It doesn't say Canadian Musicians. It says American Federation of Musicians. AFM.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything about Canada. Doesn't
No.
say anything about Peterborough.
No.
So when I got in Madam X, in my book I described, it took me 2 times to get over the border because the first time I thought it'd be a good idea to tease my fucking hair up here, put all my makeup on and go in boots and leather and chains to the border. They say, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Go back to Peterborough, you idiot. Like, go back to Peterborough, wild man.
Yeah.
14.
So that didn't work. So then the bass player, Madam X, came in a car and said, don't fucking tease your hair. Don't put any makeup on. Tie your hair back. Wear
Right.
something. And you're my cousin, okay? You're my cousin. I'm taking you to the amusement park, okay? I go, okay. I sat in the car, and he's like, hey, it's my cousin. Hey, we're going to meet. So we got over. So then I was about 15 years old, or 16. I can't remember exactly which, but around then. And so we relocated Madam X from Detroit to Phoenix because there was a bar called Rockers that would let us rehearse there for free, but we had to rehearse at 7 in the morning.
Wow.
It
Did you
just
stay up
wasn't very
all night?
good. It wasn't very good for the pipes, you know.
No,
like-
not at all. Yeah.
Anyway, so here's how I lived in America. You ready for this? So I went to get my driver's license. My birth certificate was from the Bahamas.
All right.
And I went to get my license and just pretended that I was like living here. And then I filled out the paperwork and everything, and then I stood in line to get the license, and I picked the dumbest motherfucker I could find. I go, who can I totally bully into doing this? And I found someone. I go, this fucking guy. So I go up, and I go, hey man, what's up, man? And I got my license, and Shay goes, yeah, okay, well, would you need your proof of your job? And I go, because what do you do? And I go, well, I'm in a band. And he goes, oh, right on, man. He goes, you got, like, ID? And I go, fucking right. American Federation of Musicians. Which I got in April.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
He goes, oh, killer, dude. Fucking American, right on. You rock, bro. So then I had a fucking driver's license.
Wow.
Took the driver's license to get the passport. Took the passport on the road, around the road. But the thing is, my dad was American. So
Right.
everything I'm saying, like, I couldn't have got a passport if my father wasn't American.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
That
So
makes
that's how I
sense.
first.
And that was the
like,
80s
Yeah.
too. It was a little easier mid 80s.
Yeah, that wasn't so crazy back then, you know.
Oh, I don't imagine so. So that takes you out of Canada by 17 years old. So you were already like whatever you kind of. You really weren't a part of what we would have called the Canadian music business because you immediately went on to be international and American.
No, and it's always been a thorn in my side. Like and when I first started at Skid Row, it hurt my feelings that I couldn't ever get a Juno or anything. Like I presented a Juno to Leonard Cohen.
Sure.
But nobody gave me shit in Canada. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Everybody would explain to me, oh well, because CanCon is 4 parts and you're not all enough parts. But then we did Subhuman Race in Vancouver. I, a Canadian, wrote 5 of the songs in the record.
Yeah.
Our producer was Bob Rock. The engineer was Randy Staub. We recorded it in fucking Canada, but we still weren't Canadian. That didn't qualify.
That's
and I'm
weird.
a Canadian citizen, and it's
That's
my
weird.
band. And I'm like, what? How the fuck doesn't that qualify, you pricks? Like
That's
it-
weird
like,
because there's stories of Alice Cooper pulling off some sort of Canadian move with Jack Richardson producing back in the 70s.
How does Sebastian Bach recording a record in Canada with Bob Rock not qualify? Like
I know.
That's weird.
It's tricky. It's a weird one, yeah. But that's really interesting. So, but
we just took Cobra and the Lotus on tour, right?
That's right.
And right on. Nice people, great time,
Great
successful tour. They just got a fucking Juno, and I'm the headliner. Hello. What the fuck? Hello.
yeah, but you're on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Dude, here's me on the bill. Like, give me a fucking. Don't I get a trinket? Don't I get a trinket for my wall?
Juno keychain, yeah.
Like Todd said, you win. You were on the cover of Rolling Stone. I think
Yeah,
that
by yourself, by the way.
That does
pretty
not
awesome.
qualify you as Canadian. I'll have
No,
you.
that does not at all. Yeah,
That immediately disqualifies you.
you'll never get a Juno now.
You're disqualified.
So it
Stryker from Ajax, they're
exactly.
Canadian.
It wouldn't be fair to not.
Well, like, what the fuck? I got a Canadian citizenship. Like,
But speaking of
know.
awards and recognition for a lot of things, Rolling Stone cover being one, and what an interview like this wouldn't be at all anything if we didn't bring up the fact that you pretty much solely responsible, and of course Skid Row bringing out Pantera on their first ever arena tour. God bless him, Dime, Vinny, any memorable stories from that era?
well, as we started the interview, and I was illustrating the difference, of a Miles Kennedy or a Robin Zander, maybe I wanted to kick ass after that tour with Pantera.
I can only imagine.
Because
Yeah.
those guys don't come on stage like Robin Zander or Miles Kennedy.
No, not at all.
They come
Not
on there to throw down, man, and I would be lying to you if I told you that it was fun every night following that show. Because some nights I was like, Holy shit! You gotta fucking go on now, dude. After
I know.
that's rock
young
and roll,
and
though.
I know. Those guys were like.
Well, and to watch them go from being pretty much, nobody to somebody on that tour. I mean, that was, just they blew up so fast in that time period.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said for brothers together in bands. And Corey, your brother, the producer, like I think Alex Van Halen with Eddie Van Halen, I really think there's something like when Dimebag and Vinny played together, they were so tight.
Yeah.
It was incredible to listen to, like Rush in their own way, like how technically tight the band was.
Absolutely.
Plus, there were fans.
Dude,
Was that Cowboys when you played together?
Me and Scotty Hill from Skid Row. I was at his house. We were writing a song for the Slave to the Grind record, and Scotty said, "You got to hear this new band called Pantera." And I go, "I know Pantera because Pantera came to see Madam X when I was 17 at Savvy's in Fort Worth, Texas, and we played behind a fence, just like the Blues Brothers." And I think that was because, like, part of the club was all ages and part of it wasn't, but it looked like they were throwing shit at the stage. But Chris from Madam X comes backstage. He goes, "Oh my God!" I go, "What?" He goes, "Pantera is here." And I go, "Who the fuck is Pantera?" And then he explained to me Pantera was one of the biggest bands in the Southern America, like Texas, Florida, Louisiana, the southern states on the circuit. And we were on the same agency, All American Artists, just a club agency. And so we hung out after the gig, and this was like '87, like when they were a glam band, before Phil was in the band.
Really?
So then Scotty said, "You got to hear this album," and it was Cowboys from Hell, and I go, "That can't be the same band."
Wow.
And he put the needle down on the song Cowboys from Hell, and it sounded like ZZ Top meets Slayer with a little Van Halen in there. Like,
Sure.
all of that coming together, and it was I go, "That's the band we should take on tour with us,"
Totally,
And we did, so.
That's rad.
and the Killer Dwarfs too, to mind you.
Yeah. I love the Dwarfs. There's something about Canada that produces all these high vocals, like
Right? Yeah. 'Cause
Sheriff, Geddy Lee, me, Killer
Todd
Dwarfs.
Burns.
Like, what the heck's what's in the water up there? Like,
Russ sounds like Geddy Lee on helium.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you had any bets all today? Wow, bow, bow, bow. I love those tunes, man.
Yeah, me too. Like the early shit.
The first album.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great record.
They don't like that shit, though. I tell them to do that. They go, "What do you want? We don't like that." I go,
I know they kind of
don't deny
intrude.
the public of your talent. Like,
Never. You can't. Not at all.
Speaking of which, I see you have a master class coming up. So anybody who wants to take actual vocal lessons, what's that all about? Is that sold out now, or is that something that's people can still access?
well, I'm just stuck at home like everybody else, and I figure I'm going to do a vocal class which shows a singer the exact warm-up that Axl does that I gave him, which is just a vocal scale with it's one of the recordings from my voice lessons. So if you've never sang before, you can give it a shot, and if you have sang before, by the end of the warm-up, we'll be pretty warmed up, and then we'll hit some higher notes from Skid Row or Journey or Judas Priest. But I'll show you how to get your pipes up to that level.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool that you to be learning from, it's like learning, I don't know, kung fu from Bruce Lee. You know what I mean? It's like when you learn stuff like that.
A lot of the people that everybody thinks that singing is like yelling as hard as you can. That's not what it is really. It's
not for Robin Zander.
It's more placement, like oh, oh. It's putting it in your palate where you get the resonance. But I'm not trying at all. Like, dude, that's placed in my.
Yeah.
That's people think that it's just going as hard as you can fucking the whole time. It might sound like that, but if you do that, you can't sing every night. You have
and
to
that's
learn
why
how to sing every night.
And at being 52, it's like being able to still do the stuff in the original key, because a lot of guys, I don't know, it's a physical thing. Eventually it catches up with you, especially if you've been doing it wrong. It's like it can get really ugly.
But then you get guys like, okay, Alice Cooper, right?
Yeah.
And I perform with Alice. He does his Christmas pudding. He's really singing live. He's not, and he's fucking right on.
Yeah.
He doesn't even warm up, which pisses me off. No. And he's a lot older than I am, and he's still getting up there. And he's Alice Cooper, man. And he sounds like Alice. And
exactly.
It can be done. Steve Tyler, same thing.
Mick Jagger, different kind of singer.
Mick Jagger, I don't know how he does it.
77 years old, dude.
Yeah.
To put it in perspective, that's like, so, if you're, the reality is, I know you well enough to know that you'll still be doing this at 77, regardless of whether it's...
I will be singing. Because
against doctors' advisements.
It's a dying art, man. There's so few guys out there learning to sing, and learning their voice and what it takes, and it's like a dying art. Like when I record in a studio now, 9 times out of 10, the producer's way younger than me, and I'll sing the first chorus, and he'll say, "Okay, you're done, man." I go, "What the fuck are you talking about? I haven't even started."
Right, yeah.
Like, I'm done. He goes, "No, we're gonna fly it in, it's all good." I go, "No, we're not, because I'm gonna sing it different every fucking chorus, you fucking stooge." Like, shut the fuck up, sit down, and press record. Like,
hey, what did the Pro Tools engineers say to the lead vocalist?
What?
That was shitty. You can go now.
Like, don't be I remember that TV show on Bravo a couple years ago called "Don't Be Tardy for the Party." You remember?
I remember that.
Don't be tardy for the party. You remember? You don't remember that?
No.
It was just some chick like on a show. She's like, I'm gonna be a singer, and she walks in there. "Don't be tardy for the party," and fucking they make it into this.
That's
hit
right.
Song and like,
it's a massive hit song, yeah. But I mean, there's an interesting conversation about this, because although that conversation, certainly the American Idol voice kind of world has actually produced a different generation of people coming up who found R&B, and there's a lot more of that kind of singing going on. You're like, that takes some skill. You can't just go in there and just do that. So,
right.
I mean, so it is kind of producing some Adam Lambert types and Kelly Clarkson types.
Lambert is incredible. Like that.
Real deal. It's real deal. Yeah. And Kelly's a real deal. So
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I mean,
that guy. Holy.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, a lot. We probably dragged you through the mud enough today.
That was awesome.
The Canadian mud.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome, man.
So
You too. Yeah. We didn't even talk about your Captain Canuck shirt on air, so we should probably mention that he's the Canadian superhero.
So, I remember I was fuck, I forgot to even say this. So when I was talking about our tour that got postponed, we sold out the Commodore and Burton Cummings Theater, all these cool venues, and I was gonna wear this shirt on stage. And so I said, you know what? We can't postpone this shirt any longer.
Good.
Well, we'll have to send you down some official Toque swag too. So we'll have to send you down some official Toque swag you can sport.
I don't know how much use I'll have for a toque in Southern California. It's kind of warm there, but
that's true.
Oh, I can go skiing. I can go skiing.
Well, you can wear it. You can just take your MacBook down to Starbucks and wear your toque and write a novel. Isn't that the the hipster thing to do there?
Well, from 6
Yeah,
feet
exactly.
away,
Yeah, from 6 feet, yeah, exactly. Well, that's awesome. So, what do you have coming up? Beyond I know everything's on pause.
I have a new record deal that I signed over a year ago, but they want to announce it in a big way, and so they don't want me to stay because they have all these plans of how they're going to announce it.
Great, that's exciting.
And I'm like, come on. They're like, dude, you fucking announce stuff in this COVID thing. It's just like doing it in a vacuum or something.
It is, yeah, I know.
Because I'm all hyper, but I'm working on lots of music, and years ago, I think I remember talking to Kevin Churko when I was doing the record Angel Down. This was like a long time ago, but I think I remember us talking about working together. And so I thought that Kevin would be a great producer for this new record. And the new record, I have 2 songs from John 5, and I know he works with, so many artists, but this is our 3rd album in a row together. So
that's great.
This is our 3rd project working together. Then I got Steve Stevens from Billy Idol's band on a song, and I have Orianthi crushed me with a couple of really heavy riffs. This guy Devin Bronson, who Duff McKagan hooked through Loaded.
Okay. Yeah.
Devin, he helped write. He also helps. He's in Sum 41 sometimes.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah.
And so he's got a bunch of songs. So I was all excited, and I got all these demos. So I got the president of a new record company to contact your brother Kevin, and he rejected us.
Oh.
What?
But I was very bummed out. Not to be awkward or anything, but I said to my president, I go, fuck, man. I go, what the fuck happened? I go, he doesn't want to do the record. And he goes, no, he can't do your record. He's not doing the record. I go, well, what did you send him? And he goes, he didn't hear any of the music at all. So I took that as a good sign.
Yeah. He was probably super busy.
So if Kevin would have listened to my new music, and then rejected me, that would have hurt. But the fact that I got rejected without even listening to anything is a fucking positive step in the right direction.
Totally.
He's just busy. I wouldn't take that personally. He's just busy with a million other things, that's all.
Well, if he's busy with a million other things in 2020, then he must be doing something right.
He might be not as busy right now. Yeah, you're right. That
maybe Corey can step up. You
exciting.
You get the next best thing right there. Yeah.
Right.
You produce too, right, Corey?
I do. Yep. And I'm in the same city as you. We should.
What? You're in LA?
We should talk. I'll get my people to call yours.
Okay. I think your people already called our people, but
you're talking right now.
Exactly.
But you see, the thing about Kevin Churko, we are the exact same age. Because I Googled, I go, why did this guy turn me down? And I go, oh, he's 1968, 52, like the exact same age.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, when you're an old, grumpy old fuck, like in your 50s, sometimes you have problems like taking direction from some young little whippersnapper.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not saying it couldn't work, but I need a guy like in Jekyll and Hyde to maybe grab his nuts.
Yeah.
So to touch on that,
full contact production.
How was that kind of the working relationship you had with Nick Sterling? There was a big age gap there, right?
That's a very sad situation. That guy Nick was one of the most talented guitar players I've ever been around, and he he and I made a record that I am so proud of called Kicking and Screaming.
Great album.
And what happened was we had an Access TV concert live broadcast all across America on Access TV, the full fucking show from Nokia Theater. And his parents were like his managers, right? And they wouldn't let him sign the release to be on the fucking show. I go, I have to sign the fucking release. I have to sign it. I can't go on TV. You guys know when you do a TV show, you got to sign the release?
Of course, yeah.
The day of the show. And his parents are like demanding money and stuff for him to sign this. I go, nobody's making money off this. We're not selling it. We're on a TV show. You gotta sign this. And he refused to sign it. And it'd be like if the guitar player joined Ozzy Osbourne's band and they did the Jimmy Kimmel show, and the hour before he's fucking not signing the fucking, like, it's like, this is the music business. Rick Sales, my manager, won't let me work with people that won't sign the fucking release for the show. Like, it's very simple, but it's very sad.
Oh, that's
a shame.
It's sad at the same time, you know.
Well,
like, let me know if you guys know anybody that's making money by selling DVDs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe in your time machine. Yeah.
It's not the biggest business these days.
No, not at all.
But having said that, one of the ways I'm supporting my family during this science fiction novel, which is not fiction, is Cameo. You know, I'm doing all these cameos.
Yeah, you're killing those, dude. I love watching your cameos. They're awesome.
And I put in the background a lot of these songs I did with Nick.
Oh,
and
cool.
they fucking are so great. Like, these songs are really good. So hope maybe one day, who knows, man? Rock and roll is a vicious game. There's a Canadian song.
Covered
there you go.
by yourself.
Yeah. Give them hell, yeah. But Nick was one of the most talented guitar players that I ever met, and I wish him all the best. Yeah.
No idea what he's doing now. I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Still holding out on that release.
Doesn't matter. He's not signing shit.
Huh?
Still waiting to sign something, probably.
We've been trying to get him on here since week 1, but he just refuses to sign. But we won't keep you. We know you're a busy guy, and we want to thank you for coming on. If you do want to hear, obviously, more in-depth stories, go and pick up your own copy.
Yeah.
Sebastian Bach, 18 Life on Skid Row at harpercollins.com, and obviously on all your socials as well. So
maybe Kane, where are you at? Or Corey,
yep.
Where are you at exactly? Like, I don't mean your address, but
Woodland Hills.
Okay, well, I'm in. Do I want to say this? I'm somewhere near Malibu.
Okay. Well, we're like 20, 30 minutes away from each other.
Okay. Well,
I think I'm like 10 minutes away from you. I can.
Yeah, Shane's in the same area.
Really?
Shane's Simi Valley. Yeah.
Just put all your addresses in the comments here, and you guys can hook up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I live right between the shooting and the fire.
Oh.
Okay.
There you go.
Nice.
But hey, so let's get whoever rejected me to reach out to you.
Sounds
and
good.
See if we can get a love connection going here, because
Perfect.
I ain't getting any younger, man. Like, fuck.
No, I know.
Yep. Still more music in you, I'm sure.
Not that we can leave the house or anything, but we send some files back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy.
Easy.
There's got to be a way. Online is the new normal now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it must be really hard making porn right now, right? People they can't be.
You know what I thought? I'm like I don't know, like I got married 4 years ago and stuff. I can't imagine, like, if you were in your house just by yourself. And if I didn't meet my beautiful wife, fuck.
Here's a funny story, and it relates to Canada as well. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but it's been all over the Canadian news. The BC government, British Columbia government, on their actual health website was talking about sexual activity, and they were talking about encouraging non-contact or positions that eliminated contact. So they actually put on their website such as glory holes, and they were.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
they actually put this on the website on the government site. They're actually.
That's the
Yeah.
most Vancouver thing.
Wait,
ever.
what about those, like
Wow.
if you're a Hasidic Jew, you get the special blanket,
Yeah.
right? That has
Exactly.
just like a certain hole. and
I
you can't-
thought.
Yeah.
we should
Exactly.
sell those with like
Yeah.
the Toque logo on them.
Totally. That,
It's the
Get on that.
Michael Starr
And then a
sexual agenda. You know, that's
Put a Toque logo on that special blanket, the Hasidic blanket.
And a two glory hole too. while
you
we're
never
at
know who's on the other side.
call it a glory hole.
it. Anybody's got it. Jeez.
That's fun.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Sebastian. You're the best.
I don't know how
Really
long we've
hard
been on here, but I think we've said every word in the English language.
And then some.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna have one more coffee and a giant fucking smoke out at the pool, and I'm gonna contemplate all the wonderful things that we addressed today
I think you
in
should.
our Toque talk, not
That's right.
TikTok. Toque
Not
talk.
TikTok. And you
you
should
guys
spend.
should rip off the whole TikTok thing and Toque talk.
That's right.
Toque talk.
It's Toque Talk Tuesdays at 2, so we have a lot.
Toque talk
Yeah.
Tuesdays at 2.
Yeah.
There you go.
That has a good ring to it.
Alliteration
That's
all the way.
fantastic.
Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the California sun.
Wait. Just one
Oh,
second.
hang on. He's got some more Gatto.
No, here. This is just on my desk. This is a picture that was not in my book because I had no idea who took it, no idea where it comes from or anything. But this was me at 14 and Kid Wicked on stage.
Wow.
On stage, opening for Rue Morgue
No way.
That's sick.
at the Hungarian House on Danforth in Toronto. And I was 14 right here.
Wow.
Amazing.
But that's
It's amazing how realized you had your thing by 14. I think we were all still tripping over ourselves.
Well, I don't think my pitch was so realized.
Well, I suppose, yeah. Did you know, Sebastian, that Corey Churko was in a band with Kevin Churko? It was a family band. The dad sang,
What?
mom played bass,
No.
Kevin played drums, Corey played guitar, and their sister Kim played piano. They were the fucking Partridge Family, yo.
What was the name of the band?
Yeah.
Churko.
Jerko.
Churko?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you something now.
I should have brought up my
Here we
vinyl.
go.
I actually have a copy of the Maple Metal record with Kid Wicked on it. Yeah.
That's
Do
right.
you
I
really?
think actually Fitzy, you brought it back when you were out with Kenny on. Yeah.
Churko, wow. That's cool,
Churko.
man.
Yeah.
So
Exclamation
your
point.
dad, was your dad a singer?
Yeah, he was the singer.
That's
Guitar.
all thing.
Yeah.
Is
You
your
should
dad
send him
still-
the video.
Is your dad still around?
My dad's still around. Yep.
Is he
You
still
send him the
around?
video, Corey.
What's that?
Send him the video.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we did in January. We did a family reunion where the family band opened for Toque in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
You missed out, bro. Moose Jaw.
Yeah, first time we played together. First time we played together in 30 years.
Wow. And was mom in the band too?
Yeah, and she still plays bass, man. She's busier than I am.
Can she produce my record?
Probably would.
Bonnie Churko.
She's pretty busy, so maybe not.
Can you ask mom? Like,
Sure.
I can send her an MP3. Right?
Okay.
Bonnie
Let's
Churko
do
becomes.
some slapping on it.
What about like your gardener? Like,
Just got to get that name on there somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, Churko.
I just snorted. That's Canadian.
Yeah,
Very
for sure.
Snorted.
You also said
Okay.
fucking right earlier, which I'm glad you kept that in your lingo. I
So
say fucking
what?
thing. You said fucking right.
Fucking ain't right.
I don't
Right.
It's not just right; it's rights.
But-
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
right.
Fucking
Right.
right.
Fucking rights.
It's the
Fucking
same.
ain't right.
It's the same as Ontario, where it's not Safeway, it's Safe Ways. We all know
Safe
that.
ways.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Or like in Trailer Park Boys, I'm gonna go have some jalapeno
Exactly.
chips.
Your pot curry.
And you gotta add S to the end of you, so it's where are
Yeah.
you guys off to?
Where are
guys.
you guys going? I got
Yeah.
a cat diesel power. I got a 2-4 in the back and that's blue. I gotta go. I got a cat diesel. I'm fucking cat and I'm going up Skidoo and up in the north. I'm going up to fucking North
Pretty good.
Bay.
Wow, you never lost that.
Yeah.
You still got that nailed.
I talk like that when I'm playing, like in Peterborough. Those are my rocks. Hey, we're fucking gonna rock this motherfucker. We're gonna whoop some fucking ass up in this motherfucker right here tonight.
Otherwise, they can't understand you. As soon as you say that, they go,
exactly.
"Oh, okay."
I'm going Stadooling. I got a cat diesel, eh? I got a cat. I'm going Stadooling. I'm going up. I'm going down the creek.
I think we all.
The crick.
I'm going
we
down
all
the creek.
assume-
I got some crawfish. I got some crayfish. You know what? I remember the first time I saw Nirvana on television I was in Toronto and they were doing an interview on Much Music, and I think it was Erica M, but they kept pronouncing it Nirvana.
They still do. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And Kurt Cobain and fucking Dave Grohl are going, well, we're in Nirvana, and we got the name Nirvana because and they were just totally fucking making eyes going, oh my god, who are these guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Nirvana? Nirvana?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Always
funny.
is.
Yeah.
I always
All
bug
right,
my
guys, you guys are really
Yeah.
cutting into smoking time here.
yeah.
Thanks,
Oh,
All right,
so
buddy.
much.
Thank you
Love
so much,
Appreciate
Sebastian.
it.
Corey, you're in Woodland Hills?
I'm here.
Gonna drop the address in the comments here.
That's pretty
yeah.
that's doable.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Where, Brent, where are you at
Well, I usually live in Vegas, but I'm actually in Winnipeg.
right now?
Yeah, I'm in Winnipeg. But you know what? It's funny you say Nirvana. So I go to Starbucks here, and everyone orders an Americana.
I get in the car with my friend here getting out of LAX, and I go, take me home. He goes, what road? I go, Sepulveda.
So
Okay, but
He goes,
Sebastian,
what? He goes, Sepulveda?
yeah,
You mean Sepulveda?
yeah.
Fucking Sepulveda, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Californians get that. Yeah.
hey, Sebastian, is it pasta or pasta?
Depends on if I'm on the road or not.
Okay.
Or badge.
Tonight I might have a little pasta because, music doesn't exist anymore. But once I have some gigs, there'll be no pasta.
No,
Exactly.
Is it garage or garage?
I say garage.
Yeah?
I say go.
Oh,
Wow.
soft
Yeah,
cheese.
garage, too.
But in England they say garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about this? Harvey's or In-N-Out?
Harvey's.
He's
Harvey.
around Harvey's. Yeah. I say if
Fucking
Harvey's.
Harvey's makes a hamburger a beautiful thing.
What about
You should get
Swiss?
paid for that. You should get paid for that.
They're so good, Harvey's. I
Yeah.
remember when we did our record with Bob Rock in Vancouver. The first thing I said, I go, where the fuck's the Harvey's here? He goes, what? He goes, we don't have. He goes, wait a minute. He goes, there's one Harvey's at the Vancouver airport. So I would drive out to the Vancouver airport, like to have dinner, like.
That's right.
This is such a Canadian goodbye. It lasts like 20 minutes,
I know.
And I remember going to Harvey's in Vancouver Airport, and I was all excited. I go, fucking Harvey's, this is great. And the person at Harvey's goes, it's not that fucking good, dude. The person goes, well, what do you, it's not that incredible, really. I go, yes, it is, actually.
I don't think you understand.
Yeah.
Hey, go smoke.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Take
And
Does this replay anywhere? or
yeah,
anything?
it'll live
Yeah,
forever
please
now
do.
in silence with all the copyright claims against us. But yeah, we'll be live on Facebook. So yeah, you're tagged in all the posts.
Cool. All right, guys. Great talking
Thank
to
you so much.
Take care.
I might see you, Corey, in Woodland Hills. That would be great.
Sounds good. All right, bud.
Okay, guys. Have a great one. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty.
Later.